everyone. Call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, January 26, 2021, 6 p.m. regular scheduled meeting. If everyone will stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you once again, thanking you that we have the opportunity to come together to take care of the business of the county. As always, dear Lord, we just ask for your guidance and your direction, and that everything that we say and do will certainly benefit those of us who live in this county. Dear Lord, we thank you for everyone who is present tonight, and we just ask that you give everyone a safe trip back to their respective homes. And we pray these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. We'll move to the next item, and that is to adopt the agenda, but we do have a need to add 4 items under new business. The first item to be added, which will be item number 5 under new business, is to discuss the intergovernmental agreement with the county, Meriwether County, and the city of Luthersville. Item number 6 under new business will be to accept resignation from Board of Assessor member with the term ending 1/31/2020. No, that's got to be 12/31/2021. Sorry. Is that right? Yeah. Right. Let me make sure. Yeah, December 31st, 2021. That's item number 6 under new business. Yeah, this is 2021, ends December this year. 11 months from now. No. Item number 7 under new business will be to discuss removal of fees on property owned by the county located off of County Line Road. And item number 8 will be to discuss the appointment of an IDA board member. Any other commissioners or Mr. Gay have anything else that needs to be added? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, the minutes. Number 1, January 13th, 2021, regular meeting at 9 a.m. If you all have read those and have no need for change. No, have a, okay.
Under section 12, Allison, where we're discussing the bridge at the top of the page, we're using 10-foot width and 9-foot width. It actually needs to be height. With that being said, I move to approve the minutes.
All right. Hearing the request to change the wording from 9-foot width to 9-foot height and 10-foot width to 10-foot height, do I have a motion to accept the minutes with the changes? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? Motion carries. Municipal comments. Just trying to see. I don't see Mayor Glover on. Okay. Next item is constitutional officers. Do not see any constitutional officers. Are we skipping department heads, Mr. Gay? Okay. No need for department heads. And item number 7, public hearing. Case number 012021. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? We are in public hearing at 6:04.
Chairman, Commissioners, this public hearing is being held tonight for whether or not a small section of County Line Road, this is an area beginning at the intersection of State Route 54 and running north for a distance of approximately 590 feet from the intersection of Meriwether Park Drive and the gravel access road to the water tank. This property was, really was not utilized, it actually went back to the property owner, with County Line Road was relocated. GDOT brought County Line Road in to be a 90-degree or 54 required that we do that, and the road historically ran this way. County owns this part of it, this part of it here was, part of the property, Mr. Matt Reynolds, and, Mr. Reynolds was asked for consideration. There's very little evidence of road even being there, and it's just a small sliver of property. I think it's about 2/10 of an acre. It's 0.297. It's identified as tract 2 on the survey, and we're here tonight to just determine whether or not the road will cease to have be used as a public purpose. We reviewed it. We don't think that it serves a public purpose. It hasn't in a long time. In order to be able to clearly give him some information on that, allow him to be able to report his fee, he just simply asked that we go through the procedure and offer a more sees fit to offer a quick claim deed on that section of property. I'll be happy to answer any questions the board has.
Any commissioners have any questions? And no one's here to speak about it. All right, hearing nothing else, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing? Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? We're out of public hearing at 6:06. Hearing the recommendation from Mr. Gay on the closure of the 0.297 acres, what is the pleasure of the board?
I move we continue with the closure and issue a quick claim deed.
All right, and that's in form of motion.
Say it again, form of the motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Under public hearing, item number 2, case number 02-2021, discussion of allowable lot sizes in various zoning districts. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. We are in public hearing at 6:07.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, back into last year, first part of this year, well, excuse me, I'm trying to skip a little bit. End of 19 into 2020, we were updating our ordinance and our subdivision regulations. One of the things that we talked about during that period of time was allowable lot sizes, because we had zoning districts ranging from 45 acres down to 1 acre with water, sewer, etc. And one of the concerns that we had expressed in the past was the fact that subdivision built on dirt roads and then paved created tremendous impact on the remaining dirt road. In fact, we got one of the roads that's slated to be paved, is a good example there. 60 houses there, probably 55 of them are located on subdivision streets off of paved road. So considering that, we looked at the option of having people either come in and improve the dirt road or limit the lot size to 5 acres per subdivision, thereby reducing the number of lots and cars that would come off. Like, for example, the 60 homes all of a sudden would become 12 homes instead of the 60. You have a lot less impact. Then the question came up about individual ownership. Well, if I own a tract of land out there, can I build on that as long as it's not a subdivision? And so that's what we're here to try to talk about tonight. Also, I had another situation where we had the 25-acre zoning districts, and it had an allowance in the zoning of a 2-acre minimum on the county paved road, and of course 5-acre minimum on the dirt road. Well, we had one person call me, he was concerned that you could take 50 acres and turn it into 25 lots. Not really the case, because you couldn't do that without having to go through zoning and everything else for subdivision. But we were asked to bring it back and just kind of clarify that. So right now, this is under zoning. It's not under subdivision, so it's not really part of the subdivision yet. So right now, unless the board sees fit to change it, it impacts subdivisions and any other divisions of property. Yeah, I guess if they're, like if there's already lots of smaller size out there that could be grandfathered or, pre-existing. But any new divisions or splits would require, the 5 acres of dirt. So under our rural development, ordinance, we would have, let's go back to agriculture, so it's 45-acre minimum ag, but it does allow for residential lots, 2 acres fronting on the paved county road. It does allow for 5 acres fronting on the, their access to the county dirt road or improvement. That is an allowable use within the 25-acre zoning area. You go down to the 10-acre RR, the same thing, same requirements. LDR is a 5-acre minimum, again, 2 acres fronting on the paved road, 5 acres fronting or access to the county dirt road. We go to the rural development, that's a 2-acre, I think, minimum now, right there. And that would then start to require 5 acres minimum on a dirt road improvement road. You go to single family, it becomes 1.5 acres minimum with public water, 1 acre with public water and sewer. And the ordinance says it must be on a paved road, so you cannot get the R1 and build it against the only dirt road. And so what we really would like is just to discuss those allowances within the various zoning districts and determine whether or not you wanted to allow less than 5 acres on a division of a U lot by, it doesn't qualify as a subdivision on dirt roads. And then you want to allow the 2-acre divisions within the 25 and the 10 acre category. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. I know it came up because one of the commissioners asked about had a family person who wanted to divide out, didn't want to do 5 acres on the dirt road. So she told me, well, I thought it was only subdivisions, but it's not. It's tied to the zoning districts and not necessarily the subdivision.
So since this is discussion tonight, do we need to determine if we need to set another meeting? Because do you have to advertise for those types of changes? You do, right?
We did. We
Right, okay.
advertised for the night, so you guys could change it if you wanted to.
Okay.
Or, if you wanted to think about it a little bit, it's a lot to discuss. If you wanted to maybe look at it in a work session, you could do that. You could do that as well. In the interim, we would just continue to enforce it as if it's got to be 5 acres. It's not related to the subdivision regs. It's related to the zoning. So it's driven by the zoning category and not the subdivision. So whether or not it qualifies for subdivision, it would still be fair.
Any commissioners have any questions, statements, comments?
Do we have anything pending that this would impact?
I don't think I'm not aware.
Any
of it.
request?
It was just, I think, a question that came up by a property owner who said, I'd like to split off the land and, I don't have to, have 5 acres to do it.
Are they looking at doing it soon? Are they wanting to divide it?
I never did talk to them, but they haven't come in to ask about it. It was just a question that came through board commissioner.
Could we get what was required under the old, and then any recommendations for
Yes,
any
we could get you
improvements?
that. It was under the old, it was, really, the 25-acre category, for example, had to be 25 acres unless it came to the board for approval. Use. And of course, very few times have we ever turned that down. So what we would try to do is, if it's going to be approved, we would try to get the, and discuss it. If it were a subdivision off of dirt road, we had no provisions there really whatsoever, so they could come in and build whatever the, subdivision or the zoning allowed. They didn't have to do anything with the dirt road. So we got like a road, it's actually in your district, that's, I think a road is 0.8 of a mile long and serves 60 homes.
Right.
So that's 240 trips a day. on the dirt road at this time of the year, you just can't sustain dirt road. So what we were putting into the ordinance here was either you got to pave it to county specs at 8/10 of a mile, or instead of having those 60 lots at 1 acre, you have to go to 5 acres and thereby cut the density down on what's access to the building.
Is that one of the roads we were talking about paving anyway?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, it was a tremendous candidate for
Right.
road paving because, goodness, you know, within that 8/10 of a mile, you had
60.
4 subdivision streets and
Right.
60 homes.
Yeah.
And this one of the first 2 on our paving. So we just, like I said, we had to come here tonight to see and get feedback from you guys, and the public, and, you know, we don't have to have a decision tonight if the board wants to think about it. I can get you guys a copy of what previous regs and current regs, and, you know, just see. So we didn't really think about whether we were satisfied with those lot sizes, and then whether or not we want to exempt, dirt roads if it's a, you know, it's not a subdivision. And then we've got the subdivision as being a division of 3 or more, not including the pit track. Right.
You can have 4 total.
Right,
There are
4
plus
total.
they split before it goes to subdivision.
And then it goes into a whole new set of rules and regulations at that point.
I thought we changed that to 1 and 2, not 1 and 4. I mean, 1 and 3. I'm pretty
It's,
sure.
It went from 5 to.
So it was 5.
Which splits.
Okay.
Do we have anybody
Sure.
on
Oh, I'm sorry.
to speak about the, do we know if we have anybody who wanted to speak on, in this hearing?
I don't know, I'm not aware of anyone that asked to speak. I know I have spoken to another gentleman, as I said earlier, who was concerned about 2 acres allowed in the 25 acre
Mhm.
district. With the thought that, well, it's, you know, they can just divide it out into 2 acre lots if you can. That's not the case. And I asked him to come by and let's sit and talk and go over, but I have not heard back from him since then.
If there is anyone online that can hear me that is wanting to speak in reference to what we're discussing, if you'll unmute yourself and let us know. Yes, ma'am.
I personally would like some more time to look at this. We went through a whole work session to do this. I thought we cleared up everything, but I would like to go back and look at what we agreed on and then what was previously there for my personal, I think I personally would like to have some more information. That's just me personally.
I've had a couple of people call me and ask questions, and I really couldn't answer their question. I didn't feel like I knew enough about it.
Right, me too.
And I'd almost like,
A work session.
well, a work session would be fine, but I almost need something drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you take the county and, you know, because we used to have a map at one time that said, you know, everything over here was 25 acres and this was whatever. I'd almost like to see that again, and let's determine what's what and what we're doing. That was sort of the concern of the ones that called me, was they were concerned about more places being just 2 acre lots. And like I said, I couldn't answer the question because I didn't know enough about it.
We've got the zoning map, which, Kevin, we can bring that to a meeting and be able to.
Just so we, I mean, like I said, I just do better if I can see it, and I feel like I get a better feel for what we're talking about and what we're doing. I mean, I certainly understand the thing about the dirt road. I mean, that makes perfect sense, but on all of this other, I probably need to know a little bit more.
Me too.
And we even looked at some options, we discussed some of this, stuff with 25 to 2, we looked at 25 to 5, and 5 to 2.5, various other things. There's a lot of options there. And what we may do is, if you guys want to sit for the work session, we'll put together some options to look at. Another thing that not right now, but we can get, I think, but one a little bit more, I think we need to expand our commercial zoning categories. But right now, we only have planned unit commercial and neighborhood commercial, where there's a wide gap between those 2. So I think that needs to be expanded at some point as well. Maybe something we need to look at, but you think, what are your thoughts?
I agree. We had that we discussed the other day, but definitely didn't fit neighborhood commercial, but that's all the time.
Any other commissioners? Hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? We're out of public hearing at 6:20. Hearing the discussion and the request of other commissioners as well as myself wanted to know more information, do I have a motion to place this into a work session and have maps provided for us to determine at a later date?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
If you guys are okay with that, we'll try, we got a lot of public hearings coming up in February.
Right.
We'll probably look at March as a time.
Okay.
I was gonna say in just a minute under new business, could we add number 9 to schedule a work session? All right. Moving on to the next item, unfinished business. Item number 1, appointment to the Planning Commission, District 3.
I hate to say I'm gonna have to ask the table again.
Put that in a motion.
That is a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Tabled. Item number 2, appointment to Lake Meriwether, City of Woodbury.
I have talked with Miss Carolyn. She says she will be glad to stay. Miss Carolyn Ledbetter for that, please.
So that's a motion.
That is a motion.
Have a motion to appoint Carolyn Ledbetter or reappoint. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, appointment to the Water and Sewage Authority, District 4. The gentleman has declined, so I ask that we table this right now, so I'll put that in form of a motion. Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Next item is new business. Item number 1, placemaking collaborative, Carolyn McKinley with the Chamber of Commerce. Ms. Carolyn, we'll turn it over to you. Are they able to unmute themselves? You unmute yourself, Ms. You can't unmute yourself?
I
There you
did.
go.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I appreciate an opportunity to come before you for a few minutes this evening. I will say that since it's been almost a year since I have had a chance to speak to you all over Zoom or otherwise, I would respectfully request maybe about an hour of your time instead of what I had originally asked for, because I have a lot to cover.
An hour tonight?
I feel Brian's blood pressure going up all the way across the screen.
We were just about to accidentally disconnect you.
No, when Beverly called and wanted to know how much time, I said, well, we're going to try to keep it to 10 or 15 minutes at the most. So as y'all know, I talk fast. I talk fast, and so do the people who are with me tonight. So let me welcome Stephanie Russell, who is with the Georgia Municipal Association and is their Manager of Economic Development, and Cindy Idson, formerly with Tourism. Many of y'all remember Cindy. She is also with Georgia Municipal Association as their Community and Economic Development Specialist. I hope I have those titles right. Close enough anyway. Okay, so I'm going to speak about 1 or 2 minutes, Brian. That was for you. This is an opportunity that's being presented to Meriwether County. It's a wonderful opportunity for us, and it's coming under the umbrella of the Georgia Municipal Association. And I believe Miss Cindy Idson, who is an old friend of Meriwether County, recommended Meriwether County to be the first county that gets the benefit of this GMA intervention. They have done a number of cities around the state, but this will be one of the, I think, the first time they've worked with a county, so we are considered a pilot county. And just as probably one statement to sum it up, this is a grassroots approach to economic and community development with a lot of emphasis on inclusion and diversity. I will also let you know that all 7 of our cities have already been, this has already been discussed with all 7 of our cities, all 7 of our mayors, as well as other representatives from the city. And they have all expressed interest in signing on to be a part of it. They are now in the process of selecting their teams that will work within their cities. So with that, I'd like to turn it over. I'm not sure if Cindy or Stephanie is going to speak first. Okay, Stephanie. All right, so again, this is Stephanie Russell, who is the Manager of Economic Development for the Georgia Municipal Association. And thank you, Stephanie, for being here.
It is absolutely my pleasure to be here, and I'm very pleased to be addressing you, Mr. Chair, and all of the commissioners tonight. As Carolyn mentioned, we had offered an invitation for Meriwether County to participate in this collaborative, and let me give you a little bit of background on the collaborative. The collaborative was started in 2018. I was brought on as the program manager to run a pilot for a year. We brought 3 cities in and we ran the pilot for a year. Then we officially launched the program. We brought 3 more cities in 2019. And then in 2020, we took just a tiny little break for 6 months to restructure the program because of COVID, because we were meeting in person. And I'll give you a little background on the program. So it's actually the Georgia Economic Placemaking Collaborative. It's a 3-year program, and it's place-based economic development. And it's a program that provides the participating communities with education, facilitation, technical assistance, networking, peer learning, and incentives in order to help them identify their community assets and to develop place-based development projects and strategies for long-term success. It really is focused on the idea of projects. We have tied in diversity, equity, and inclusion into our process, as well as looking at social issues and ways that place-based economic development projects can address social issues in your community and also address your community needs from an economic development standpoint. It is traditionally a 3-year program. In year 1, we focus on education, visioning, and planning. Year 2 is a focus on development projects, funding and implementation of those projects. And year 3, we do a tracking and impact analysis. Bringing on Meriwether County and a couple of our new cities, we're bringing on 6 cities this year in Meriwether County, as well as an Atlanta neighborhood. This program is structured to work with any size community, doesn't matter how small or how large. It is a program that has been proven to work with any demographic as well as any size community. So we've decided to run another pilot inside the program, and we'll be running a fast track. And so instead of doing a 3-year program, we're going to be doing a 1.5-year program, and Meriwether County will be participating in that part of the pilot, as well as the Atlanta community and 2 of our other cities that are participating. So what has traditionally been 3 years, we're going to do a little bit of a change this year for some of our communities and see how that works, because we've had such tremendous success with this program. So the success of the program is that we bring in facilitators, and our facilitators are rock stars on the state level. We've partnered with Carl Vinson Institute of Government out of UGA. We have a partnership with the Georgia Conservancy, and we also have a partnership with Georgia Department of Community Affairs. So each one of our communities has their own facilitator that goes through the program all 3 years, or in this case with the pilot, a 1.5 years with the community. And they take them through this training process and through this project process. In addition to having a facilitator, each community has a team leader, and Carolyn has graciously volunteered to be the community team leader. She will be the communicator with us as home base, and will be making sure that the teams are following the curriculum, as well as meeting and attending the retreats. And the program is based in training. We like to train the community members to do this economic development process. And the community teams then are able to go out and do these projects in the community. And the projects can be anything. They can be public projects, they can be private projects, they can be public-private projects. The idea is that they are based in a place-based economic development realm. So you're looking at projects that are coming from the community. We use a bottom-up approach. We do not use traditional economic development. We use bottom-up approach, asset-based, community-led economic development. And we train the community to do this so that they have sustainable growth and smart goals moving forward in the community. So the teams are very diverse. We like the teams to represent the demographic of the community. We like the teams to have different socioeconomic representation on the community. The teams do have to have one elected official, and we do encourage members that are part of your development authorities, your other commissions to be on the teams, as well as local business owners, members who are faith-based organizations. We even include youth to be on the teams as well. So the teams have this really community-centric, community representative makeup as we go through and teach the process. And the idea is we really want to tackle some of the really pressing issues that we're experiencing in our communities, such as aging out, and other issues such as not having projects and workforce development that are representative of the community's demographic and that are going to be sustainable for long term. So assembling that diverse community team is a requirement, and Carolyn will be facilitating that with our 7 communities that have volunteered to participate from Meriwether County. So we're very excited to be bringing them on to our placemaking collaborative. It's just an opportunity to practice a different type of development, and one that we, like I said, the 3rd year we do tracking and impact analysis. And we'll be doing that with Meriwether County also to see the impact that this type of approach could have in your county. So that's a summary of the program. And I know I talked very fast, but I didn't want to take too much of your time tonight. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And we would love to have a representative from the commission on the team if you guys feel that is a direction that you would like to go and to participate with this program.
Thank you very much.
I do have, Brian, I have a question for the board. I don't know that we need a motion so much to authorize us to proceed with this program, but I would never want to do anything of this magnitude without the full support of the Board of Commissioners. So if y'all could make some statement, and Theron, I guess you can guide the group on what kind of statement that needs to be, but some statement of support, which basically says y'all understand it, you support it, you're glad to see us working in this direction, and that you expect us to keep you informed as we move forward.
Thank you. And I was going to ask the commissioners if they had any questions about the program.
Okay.
What type of cost is involved in this?
Could you all hear her?
I did not.
No.
She asked what type of cost is involved in this for the county?
Currently, there's not a fee to participate because we're doing everything virtually. We're hoping that we'll go back to our regular retreats, which will be in person, possibly in September. And the only cost would be the cities would incur cost of transportation to the retreat location, as well as potentially an overnight stay. But once again, we're kind of going with this. We revamped the whole program so it can be done virtually in the event that we are not able to meet in person anytime soon. And because we'll be doing a 1.5-year program, it's very possible that this group may not ever get to do a live retreat.
I have one other question. Even though right now things are done virtual, when you talk about promoting, advertising, getting the word out, there's normally some kinds of costs of the marketing. Is that already part of the program, or is that something that the counties and the cities would take on to get the word out to market it?
The towns and the cities would take that on. The way we're structuring this pilot, it's looking like there might be one universal project that all the cities work on for the county. And then there'll probably be some individual projects that the cities do on their own as well. So the burden of that is really going to fall on the cities. And I mean, you're welcome to be a part of that if you want to sing their praises, because that would be a really positive way to support. But we do a lot of our advertising just virtually. And like I said, this is more of an education program. It's not so much that we would be advertising it to the public, although it's a great marketing piece. We do press releases. We keep the public informed of what the team is doing. But it's really about training the team so that they can pass this information on in their community for generations to come. And it's a paradigm shift. It's to change the way that we traditionally do economic development and community development in our communities, because it involves equity and inclusion, and it brings in the actual community to help them learn how to do economic development.
Any other commissioners? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Carolyn? Was there anything further?
Well, no,
Okay.
just, again, I don't know, I'll defer to y'all on what kind of statement you need to make. I just would like to be able to say to our team that the program has been presented to the Board of Commissioners and that we have y'all's support to move forward.
Were there any other speakers on your part?
No,
Okay. Hearing all of this, what is the pleasure of the board? Do I have a motion to acknowledge that we are backing?
I'll make that motion.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We're backing you.
thank you.
We're excited to be working with you.
And thank you for keeping it short.
Super excited.
All right. Item number 2 under new business is discussion of lease versus purchase of new copy machines. Mr. Gay? Oh,
Chair, we have 8 copy machines throughout the county that lease copy machines.
Bill, you probably need to come closer to a mic so people can hear you.
there we go.
Mr. Chair, Board of Commissioners, the county has 8 copy machines that are on lease presently that are rotating off the lease program in March. During the budget process, I had originally thought the best thing to do would be to purchase those machines instead of leasing. In fact, that's what I asked to be put on the agenda as, but in Mr. Gay's wisdom, he changed that as a discussion of the pros and cons of both. And after having several discussions with people that are more qualified than I am to make that decision, it's my recommendation, I think Mr. Gay's as well, that we just roll those leases over for another 5 years. And the manufacturer is sharp and they are on the state contract, so that's going to streamline the process a lot. So again, our recommendation is to continue those leases for another 5 years. Questions?
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, just, we've dealt with it with our church and stuff before, and even, you come out better with leasing.
Yep. So we need to make a motion to continue with the lease. Hearing the recommendations from Mr. Bill and Mr. Gay, do we have a motion to continue the recommendation to continue on the lease for 5 years on the 8 machines already in the county?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? And I just mixed myself all up on that statement. Anyway. All right, item number 3, request to purchase 8 SCBAs, 16 air bottles, 64 SCBA face pieces with 64 protective mask bags. Chief?
We have, we have a lot of SCBA's that have gone out of service due to being obsolete or past their expiration date as far as the bottle. And to get our equipment back up to where it needs to be, standardized, we need to purchase these 8 SCBA's and put them out throughout the county. The 16 air bottles will allow us to change out bottles on fire calls. And I don't know if you're gonna bring up this surplus stuff tonight or not, but we have piles of bottles and, back up with that. Piles of SCBA bottles and, packs that need to be surplus. So we gotta replace what we're getting rid of, because they are outdated. The bottles have a 10-year life expectancy as far as hydrostatic testing. And there's, get that amount on that, there's about, close to 160 bottles that have gone out of date, that need to be got rid of. We do need those out there to maintain our, Georgia firefighter standards and training requirements.
How many firefighters do you currently have?
Firefighters on staff, we have,
Roughly.
we have 18. We're still hiring for the, after 424 for safer. And we have our EMS personnel that are being cross-trained. And then as far as our, volunteer side,
How many EMS people will be cross-trained?
here we go. Let me look at the numbers here. To the best of my knowledge, there's only 2 that won't be, because they were hired prior to 2018 before the services combined.
So,
Anybody hired after 2018 will be cross-trained.
so roughly how many is that minus 2? I don't know. 22. Okay.
And one of those members is 62 years old, so he'll probably be retiring out very
Oh,
soon.
man.
Let me ask you something. If we have 18 current firefighters, and I understand you have to hire more, and you have 22 EMS that's transferring over, that's a total of 40 so far. Why do we need 64 masks?
We also have our volunteers. And right now, our volunteer numbers are increasing. We've actually gone up to 98. I've got a stack of 8 on my desk we put on. We'll be taking the cabinet to get the station.
So then that calculation, there's not enough masks to be purchased.
Well, we have some that's already on the pump.
Right. I think we bought some a couple of years back, if I remember. We did mask.
We bought some of the SCBA's.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have expired, some have.
Yeah.
Well, if they're expired, I don't think we have any choice but to
Yeah,
replace them.
right.
We're gonna run a true fire service.
Right.
But the 64 masks, along with the ones we already have in service, should take care of covering our paid personnel. It will cover, our volunteer personnel. They'll still be on the pumper, but they'll be issued to a person, an individual. So when they go and run a call, they won't have to use somebody else's mask. Back in 2008, this sort of became a standard when we had the Ebola outbreak and all that, and now it's become a true standard since COVID is not to share masks.
Makes sense.
I have a question, Mr. Chair. You mentioned earlier, Alan, about the SCBA tanks, that I know they have to be hydrostated periodically. Even with that, they still are only good for 10 years?
10 years, yes, sir.
And that is for the fiberglass as well as for the aluminum?
So if we have aluminums, we can reuse aluminum. They have
Yeah.
in the state on those. But the problem we have with the few aluminums that we have is that they're obsolete to the new SCBA.
Oh, okay. So you have to go with the fiberglass.
Yeah. Well, no, we can buy aluminum if we're buying new ones. But the cost is gonna be
I see.
a lot more. I'm not sure on numbers right now, but the cost for solid aluminum are more than the composite one.
And the aluminum's heavier too.
And those 8 SCBA's are gonna be $47,000. And that's the best price that we could find? Okay.
Knowing that we've got to buy so much at one time, and a lot of it's because it's, like you said, it's quite antiquated. How can we position ourselves so that we have something that's rotating, so that the next cycle, you're not finding yourself in this same predicament? Is there a cycle to put it on where you're not having to do this all at one time? I'm sure if it had been kept up or wrote on some kind of rotation, you see where I'm coming from?
Yes. If we could, basically, I've got to get all this old stuff out of the way and get my exact dates on everything, get a cycle going, but we may be able to work it where it's 2 a year.
Okay.
But I've got to get my numbers right on that to start with. I don't want to say that without facts, but we should be able to work it to 2 a year once we get these in there.
So you have 8 expired right now that you need 8 replacements for?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just looking at the bottom line. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Anything that's got fire service or EMS written on it,
Didn't we just spend a lot of money on y'all a couple weeks ago? Your time's about done. Yes, ma'am.
I got a record running wide open against some of this equipment that don't run.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, unfortunately, this is one of those requirements that has to have the
Right.
equipment, and it's quite expensive. I did send out an email the other day to everyone. Sorry, Alan, I didn't send it to you, I just don't have your emails. But there is a fire prevention and safety grant. It came out on January the 25th, and the deadline is February. So once again, it will allow you to, I know we need this now, but it will allow you to get some of that same equipment that you're asking for. So it's called the Fire Prevention and Safety Grant.
Okay.
It came out on, it was posted January the 25th, and the deadline is Sunday in February. The only thing about a lot of these grants for your department is it has a short window to apply, but most of this is GMA on their website. They have.
February 26th, I just pulled up,
When is it?
deadline's February 26th, the fire prevention and safety, right?
We'll forward it to you.
So you got a month, basically.
We'll forward it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I'm already working on one through the fireworks grant. It's, through Georgia Firefighter Standard and Training Council. So I'm trying to get some of these also. But if I get these, I'm still gonna try to get more, because that will help us in the long run as far as our rotation.
Right, that's one of my main concerns, because if we don't have the rotation and we're spending out at such a lump sum, it's gonna require, and since there are some funding out there that will help offset that, and I think this is through FEMA.
That one.
It will forward, it's through FEMA. Okay.
Yes.
If y'all get that forward to me, I'll work on it.
Okay, appreciate that. Then the chairman won't have to have such a heart attack. with the
Oh,
price.
We just gonna need you to get $81,248.80 in grant money.
I'll do the best I can.
All right, thank you very much. Any other commissioners have any comments, questions?
Is your email just A.Smith,
No, A-L-A-N.
A-L-L-A-N?
A-L-A-N.
Oh, one L. I was gonna see if I'd come up, but if it doesn't, I can.
We miss a net fours and do it.
What now? Oh, okay.
Any other commissioners? All right, Mr. Gay, anything else on that?
No, sir, not on that one, but she has another, request here.
All right, we'll get to this one first. We need to pass it, right? So do I have a motion to allow the purchase of the 8 SCBA's, the 16 air bottles, 64 SCBA face mask, and the 64 protective mask bags for a total of 81,000. I missed my paper. Yep, 81,248.80. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is it coming from SPOS? SPOS 2020 funds. Do I still have a motion?
You do.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. And you have another one. All right, item number 4, request to purchase equipment required by Georgia firefighter standards and training to equip the new used fire first out pump. That threw me off. New used.
Who does?
Gotcha.
Yes, what this is to get the minimum equipment, is required for Georgia Public Safety, Georgia Firefighter Standards and Training to issue a certification for that pump for the state of Georgia. And I can answer the first question that, Mr. Bill asked me, why can't we put stuff we already have on it, because we don't have stuff. That was he did good at finance, they answered that right off. But in 2018, 6,000 of that was the SCBA that was on that particular piece of equipment.
So in actuality, you asking for 12 SCBA's instead of 8. Yeah, I like how you throw that in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm asking to outfit one complete pumper and get the rest of my pumpers up to the requirement. So yes, sir, that is correct.
So we're looking at a,
Questions?
no, but we're looking at a total of 71,251.92 for this one.
Yes, sir.
And the funds are coming from SPOS 2020 again. Where did Bill run to?
He stepped out.
Are they coming from SPOS 2020?
Give you guys an idea, it's my rich brother, my behind, not having anything. You guys have done a great job. 6 years ago, the entire budget for the fire department for a year was $98,000. That's why we're behind that.
That's the reason we have a lot of, that's the reason Sandy, our maintenance guy, saved everything out there. To pull parts all of it, to try to make things to get by. And, our calls now last month, we ran 500 calls a month. Just getting by is really hard to do right now.
I think so. Any other commissioners have any comments, questions? 71,251.92. Hearing none, do I have a motion to allow for the purchase of the additional equipment for the pumper?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all.
We don't expect to see you for a year. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. All right. Item number 5 under new business is to intergovernmental agreement with Meriwether County and the city of Luthersville. And this intergovernmental agreement is for development plan review, permitting, and inspection services. Mayor Cuddy reached out and stated that he would like for building and zoning to take over this for his city completely. He has already given us the intergovernmental agreement. He signed it today. And if it's a pleasure of the board, do I have a motion to accept the intergovernmental agreement for the Meriwether County and the city of Luthersville for the development plan review, permitting, and inspection services, and allow the chair to sign? Right.
You just put up.
Right. So
I
do
move we go ahead with it.
all right. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Allison, you gonna see me sign this? I'll sign double one later. All right. Okay, item number 6, accept the resignation from Board of Assessor member with a term ending December 31st of 2021. We did have a letter received by a Board of Assessor member who the term will expire on 12/31, and that is Ms. Debbie Nelson. So if I ask for a motion to accept the resignation of that Board of Assessor member, and also to allow us to place on the next agenda to reappoint someone to fulfill or to fill that unexpired term. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation?
Motion to accept.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number, yes,
We're
ma'am.
gonna put that on the next agenda, though. We all need to be thinking, because that's not a
Right.
district. per
Right, it's
se.
a at large.
County at large, so. it needs to be-
Very important.
Oh, it is very important. Absolutely, absolutely. But we need to be.
I'd like to talk to the guy at Rosela was saying they had an interest in being on some board just to see. If we
I
can.
don't have any idea what it's.
Any other commissioners? Item number 7, discuss the removal of fees on property owned by county off of County Line Road. Mr. Gay?
Yes, Chairman, Commissioners, as you guys remember, I gave selling some property that really was kind of property that's along the creek, and couldn't really market to, anyone else, but, the repo who is with the restoration, the street restoration, is interested in buying the property. So, as, when they were looking at the title and reviewing it, there was a small sliver of property, actually, it's a little piece of property that allows you to get out. It serves as the easement to the sewer, system, it's not by the interstate. As it turned out, although this was in the property, the county's name, and it was, coded to generate a tax bill. Should have been exempt all along, should have been no taxes on it whatsoever. And, yet it turned out to be that there were taxes on it, so it's showing as if there's taxes owed, when in actuality it's exempt all along. And, what we'd like to do is just, correct that error, have those tax, fees, which are really never should have been removed, and I think they probably will need to get us, to the deed and so forth to the property.
So do we just need to compose a letter to the tax commissioner advising to remove all fees associated with this particular piece of property and allow the chair or vice chair to sign?
Sure, and we'll write that letter up and, take care of this. It's really not even a release of tax, it is correcting the error that should.
Shouldn't have been taxed. If it was ours, it wouldn't
Right.
be taxable.
I don't know why, but it just dawned on me, when we get ready to transfer a title, we need to keep an easement to that sewage treatment plant.
You're exactly right, we talked.
Yeah, we don't want to get cut off.
And the reason it's being brought up is the tax commissioner said she could not remove those fees unless we gave authority to do so. Any commissioners have any questions? Hearing none, go ahead.
I don't have any questions about that, but I do have some concerns. It just seems that there's a lot of tax assessing properties that comes back to this board because of something not done properly or anything. So, at some point in time, I would like to get a clear explanation of why we get so many of these applied to us. I mean, is it because we got an antiquated system that's not updated, or do we need to update, what is it that, it just seems a lot of this come to this board, and it's once again because of an oversight or improper paperwork or something, but I can just think of at least 8 situations that this has come about. And not to say that it's unusual, but for further reference, there's some new way of doing this system-wise or checking, hopefully, I mean, even the fact knowing that the gentleman who had County Line Road, that the property was actually his all this time, where's that discrepancy is coming from? It's just, and I know manpower has probably been one of our challenges, but, we may need to address a little bit more of this.
And
One of the things like the Kevin Line Road, for example, is, prior to this board coming together, we didn't go about the proper procedure to close the roads. So there was no public hearing held over that, there was no deed transfer. It was just, well, we'll do it this way. And now you guys are trying to catch up on that. Most of the time, in a scenario like we're talking about tonight, it would just be adjusted to what's called an error release, because it's really not forgiving anything, it was purely an error. And, I know in, other jurisdictions, what we would do there is just take it, and we just fill out what's called an error release and send it down and correct it.
Somebody had to put it in there incorrectly at some point, though.
Right.
They did, they put it in with the wrong code.
Yeah.
Put like, it was exempted and it was shut. What we should have probably called was when the taxes didn't get paid.
that's what I'm saying. Where does,
That's where
it should
It's like, why has
produce,
nobody not said anything? Yeah.
right, it should
like
produce a bill. It's got to be mailed somewhere. Who got this to see it that didn't say, hey, we shouldn't have this?
And for the period of time that
Right.
that happened, it wasn't just this year, that was quite some time. And we're looking at this particular track, that track's been there 10, 12 years. So at some point in time, like the chairman is saying, why didn't it even generate a bill? So then, what happens
Yeah, where did it go?
Yeah.
It's just, it showed up, it should have showed up as the delinquent tax bill.
That's right. It should have been on the courthouse steps to be sold.
The information, we need to check into that, but yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I know a lot of them you're talking about too, and I was told that on some of these nonprofits that we've had to do, that they have to redo the paperwork every year is a lot.
It's a nonprofit.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, and present it to the tax assessor every year. Even though you've been exempt this year, you'll have to represent it next year. Right,
Yeah, that's true.
right.
That's true.
So that's why that comes up.
Okay.
Yeah, and even with nonprofit, if you turn around and use it for revenue producing.
You lose it.
Still could be taxed.
Right.
In the church place.
Anyone else? Hearing none, do I have a motion to allow a letter to be composed for the removal of the fees and allow the chair or vice chair to sign?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss appointment to IDA board. What I will say is it was brought to my attention that there was a concern that there may have possibly been an illegal vote on a IDA member being, or a member being placed on the IDA. And that member was actually a commissioner at the time. And what I have been told is that a commissioner, a seated commissioner, my understanding of this, a seated commissioner cannot motion nor second themselves to be appointed to an authority within the county. So that has been brought up by another attorney, not ours, as a concern that we may have had an illegal vote because of that. So we can discuss it, but I think ultimately what we need to do is probably to allow our legal team to research and then advise us after they've had time to investigate. Is that?
That's fine. We have not, like you said, we have not investigated this issue at all. There is a common law, rule in supplement, but like everything in the law, nothing ever black and white, so I wouldn't feel comfortable speaking on that at this time. I will say though, if there was an illegal vote, likely that will mean that there's still a vacancy there. That, you know, you're not, that needs to be filled.
Right. So we need to really find out, so we don't just leave something out there that,
If that's the rule,
right.
If it turned out to be an illegal vote, would it be back to the board, or would there just be a vacancy?
there would just be a vacancy, I believe. Again, I don't be 100% on that.
Mr. Chair, which position on the IDA board are you referring to?
It was former Commissioner Bray. She made the second on there. I believe you made the motion, she made the second, and from what I'm being told by the attorney that addressed it, is that a seated commissioner cannot motion nor second themselves to be appointed to that authority. So it was a concern that we may have done a legal vote, and I think we do need to just make sure either way.
You'll check into it though.
Right, so do we need to make a motion to allow you to do so, or just do?
Yeah, that's probably.
All right. Any commissioners have any other comments, concerns, statements? All right. Hearing none, do I have a motion to allow Glover and Davis to investigate and report back to us on their findings? Have a motion, have a second. Have a second. All in favor? Motion carries. And I do want to add number 9 to under new business to schedule a work session. You said March. I was hoping we could do it in February, but I know we have quite a few. Does that work?
Well, you know, that ended February, we got a ton
Okay.
of public hearings.
So when do y'all have a time that y'all may think we could set one up, since we have a lot to discuss in a work session?
So we're looking at March.
We could do kind of early March. I'm just concerned with everything we've got, we're pulling all of it together, getting everything.
I'd just like to get one set so we know and we can start working on the agenda.
Your regular meeting is,
You have any time
10th.
on the 10th?
That's your regular meeting is on the
10th.
10th. And then your final meeting is the 23rd.
Well, does everybody just want to check their schedules and we'll just do it at the next meeting to set one in March then? I was thinking we would do it in February, but we can just check our schedules and do it first meeting in February. Y'all, I took that COVID shot yesterday. I'm just gonna tell you, I think it has messed my brain up. I am not even thinking right.
The 17th, I've got a conflict that day of the 17th. But other than that, I should be fine.
All right. So we'll just do that. No action need to be taken.
We'll put that back on the agenda.
Add it to February agenda. Do I have a motion to add to the first meeting in February to set a work session?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. Next item is report from Finance Director.
Well, you got a couple of reports you're gonna, bank balances, general fund, feel really strong, depending on what the payments are from tax commissioners office. This week, I probably do about $1 million to the, folks got investment due to the fact that interest rates better. The rest of the balances look good. The other reports, I'll quickly just mention them. First one is a unaudited budget analysis is 9/30/2020. That was the last fiscal year. Totals are on the second page. Again, these are unaudited. There's no change, but I don't think they'll change drastically. Based on this, we had a great year last year. Come under budget on expenses and way over budget on revenue. It's really good. Please remember those are unaudited numbers. They'll change some. And the next one is a report. Our status as of first quarter of this fiscal year, 12/31. Again, the total is provided, we're 75% remaining in the budget, which is exactly where we need. Couple of departments a little bit over, the different of the county commissioners a little bit over, that's due to, some unbudgeted expense that hit it this year. It will be moved to the previous years, so we're okay there. And elections is a little bit over due to the craziness of this election cycle. It should average out over the long. Just the bottom line, we're 75% remaining, which is exactly where we should be. So we're in good shape. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Have we yet received any of the funds from the tax commissioner as of yet?
I was told on Monday, yesterday, that we would have it soon, then a couple of days.
Because it was due on the 15th, right?
That's correct.
And then we have another one due, is it this Friday?
31st.
31st. Okay. Thank you very much. Any other commissioners?
Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing none, next item is report from the county administrator.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, just to remind everybody, we have some interviews tomorrow on personnel. We have not had this sign on our door, COVID, but if you go to the bank, restaurants, everywhere else, even the attorney's office, it hasn't. So we really need to post this on the entrances of all of our county buildings. And Valerie, HR, and I talked about that, and we'll take care of getting that squared away. So wanted to mention that. And other than that, we've been very busy. Just a lot of things going on, a lot of interest in economic development right now. So I put a little bit of time last week into economic development. And so right now, Ms. Jane, it's really, she's juggling a lot of things, but I told her, I said, all the work through the years looks like it's finally going to really pay off. And we have another person who called me on Friday, who we talked. I'm trying to get with them this week as well. They're interested in some more properties. So I think right now she has 6 prospects maybe that are looking, and we have, possibly another. So that's a good,
Yeah.
good problem to have. So other than that, we're just trying to catch up with, day to day and keep everything rolling.
Anything else? Thank you. Any commissioners have questions, comments, for Mr. Gay? Hearing none, we'll move to the next item, and that is report from the county commissioners. I usually go last, but I'll go ahead and go first while I'm thinking about it. We've had an issue with a very much what I consider a prize in this county, and that is the Red Oak Covered Bridge. It appears that a couple of weeks ago, we had 2 to 3 beams that had been broken, possibly by a oversized truck entering the bridge. So we, at that point, lowered our access from 10 feet to 9 feet. After that occurred, we received phone calls stating that there had been additional beams broken inside the bridge, support beams. When going down to the bridge, there were a total of 13 additional beams broken, 11 on one side and 2 on the other, I do believe. This is something that we can never replace, an original bridge like this that was done by Mr. King. And it is something that we all need to cherish, and we all need to be on the lookout. And if we see anything that could possibly cause damage to something that is so special to this county and that will bring in tourism and people want to see it because of its historical factor, we need to report that immediately to us so that we can see it. And we have temporarily closed down that bridge to any through traffic until it has been reconditioned to where we feel it may be passable. So at this point, I just wanted to let everybody know that it is closed to the public, no access at this point, and we will continue. But anyone that sees anything like that, please let us know immediately so that we can address it, because it could have become a very dangerous situation with 13 of those support beams broken. And that's all I have. So,
Another comment
yes,
on
ma'am.
that though, but somebody had also gone in there and hung Christmas lights.
Oh, I forgot about that, right.
And, I mean, I don't know how often we go down and check,
Right.
but after you brought to my attention about the beams, I remembered seeing a post on Facebook from a friend who doesn't live here anymore. He brought his family, I think it was last Saturday or Sunday, a week ago. And I thought, I remember seeing those pictures, went back and looked, and you can see Christmas lights hanging in the back then. So they had been there at least a week or so. So I'm just wondering how often we check or look to see, because if somebody hung Christmas lights, they had to take a generator or something to
Well, I know
even turn them on.
They weren't there the 2 weeks before when the initial beams were broken, because the pictures that were sent had none in there.
None in it.
But those lights are on the ceiling rafter and they're on the sides, only on the first section, back to the main support beam only. And like Beth said, they had to have some kind of generator
Something to run 'em.
turn them on.
There's a lot of people that want, photographs and various other things there and get
A lot of
weddings
people
and
do
everything.
pictures. I mean,
Right.
But they should take them down if they, once they're there. The first time there were 3 beams, and this last time there were 10.
13 total.
13 total.
Oh, so they didn't fix the first 3.
The first 3 had not been fixed, but they had lowered the entranceway, but still managed to get through. We're still looking at that, and we're looking at some other measures.
And we have had a report of a possibility of what happened. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Hines?
I don't have anything.
Commissioner
I don't.
Plant? I had to remember your name.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm used to Miss Mary calling me Madam Chair. Commissioner Hadley,
I don't have anything.
Commissioner McCoy.
I just make comment on our dirt roads in 3rd District. We're still having the regular complaints, and we're trying to address them as well as we can. And it's just winter time in Georgia, so that's about where we are. Luthersville Road still coming under scrutiny. As a matter of fact, we're gonna meet Friday to discuss the speeding there on Luthersville Road and what can be done about it, so. And I guess the reason, once we start to pave this and bring it up to where that strip is inside the city limits, we get that outside, they're certainly gonna want to fly at that time. So we need to get our hands around it early.
Right.
That's at 11.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you very much. Next item, report from County Attorney. don't have it? I thought we needed to discuss. But I also thought that, yeah, we do have need for executive session for personnel and possible litigation. So do I have, are there any public comments? I see Mayor Glover on now, I believe. Mayor Glover, are you on? All right, hearing none. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for litigation and personnel?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Motion carries. We are in executive session at 7:16. A motion to go back into regular session. Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? We're back in regular session at 7:52. There was no action taken in executive session. Our future meetings are February 10th at 9 a.m. for regular meeting. February 15th is a closure of the county offices for President's Day. February 23rd at 6 p.m. will also be our regular meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries, we're adjourned.